Share via email post to your profile. Send share. Share via email post to your profile report story. This is a rough design I made based on the anime and a handful sources so it would be easier to visualize where the party was held. I kind of rushed the design cause I have to work on other engineering projects. Sorry XD, and here are the sitting arrangements. After they finished having dinner, the class is just casually talking with one another. Mina, obviously plotting her next move, starts to giggle uncontrollably. What are you smiling at, babe? Kirishima asked his girlfriend. They've been sitting beside each other the whole time. You want to execute the plan, don't you? He asked. She grinned at her boyfriend's comment. Hee hee, of course, but first I need to tell Midoriya something, she uttered, standing up from her sit walking towards Toru Hagakure, who is currently sitting with Ojiro. Toru saw Mina already walking towards her. She smirks at her friend, indicating she knows what is going on. It might be a best friend thing, but clearly they read each other's minds. However, the horned pink woman did something that caught her off guard. Ojiro, Mina called, can I borrow Toru for a moment? She asked. She gazed towards her invisible friend. Even though she can't see her faces, Mina knew she made her fluster. Sure, I guess, the tailed man replied. The pink girl was so subtle with her shipping tactics that it always catches him off guard. Thanks, I'll bring her back to you in a moment, she wittily replied, pulling Toru from her sit. So, you want to execute that plan of yours, don't you? Toru asked, smirking at her friend. Yes, but first I need to tell Midoriya something. Tell the guys to wait for my cue, okay? Mina instructed. She clasped her hands together, giggling. Time to give Midoriya and Uraraka a little push. She smiled. What are you going to tell him? Toru asked. All right, you got it, Mina. She cheered, rushing towards the effects team and animal effects team. Hey guys, Mina said it's time for the next program. She'll talk to Midoriya. Wait for her cue, okay? She uttered, smiling as the teams nodded in acknowledgement. Promoted stories. You'll also like Devotion Rightwards Two-Headed Arrow Katsuki Bakugo X Reader. 1.5 M 46.4K. YN as a new student at UA High. She moved away with her dad a few years ago after her mom disappeared. While she lived here, her two friends Izuku Midoriya and Katsuki. Rewind, Villain Deku. 703K 22.2K. Don't read if you don't want spoilers. Everything is spoiler in here. Read at your own will. Also, it's fanfiction. All for One breaks out. He destroys everything. He destroy. My Hero Academia. Overcoming Fear. 7.7K 422. Since Hikari was a little girl, she's been afraid of using her mother's quirk. All her life, she's only used her father's quirk, because she was afraid of becoming like the cybernetic hero. 7K145. In a world full of quirks, Izuku Midoriya is part of the 2% that don't have quirks. After being constantly bullied by his childhood and friend Midoriya is BNHAX Fem. Reader Onishots. 66.7K 976. This book is about Boku no Hero Academia X Fem. Reader one shots. There will be Girl X Girl and Boy X Girl one shots. I am also including Class 1B and some of the pro heroes. Villains and Heroes MHA Fanfic. 27.9K 835. Izuku was a small kid with the ability to take others' quirks and use them for himself or give them to others. But a tragedy strikes and destroys his life in the only pay. The Aftermath BNHA MHA. 8.7K 386. A My Hero Academia fanfiction. Have you ever wondered what happened to the students of UA after they left school? After they went their own ways. Many students left for blank, underscore, blank, underscore, blank. Hey birthday boy. Mina called as she walks towards him, smiling. Where's Ochako? She's talking with Sue over there, he replied, pointing towards the table at the where Sue and Tokiyami are sitting. Sue, what do you think of the party? Mina asked, giggling at the young lad. Didn't you ask me that already? Deku shyly replied, rubbing the back of his neck. It's amazing, Ashido. Thanks to you guys for coming up with this, I loved it. He expressed his gratitude by standing up from his sit, attempting to bow. Before his body moved, Ashido stopped him. Hey, you don't have to thank us, she smiled. You should thank the one who came up with it. She smirks at Izuku, who is unaware of anything. Okay, who came up with it, Ashido? Deku asked. Well, of course, none other than Ochako, she whispered to his ear. The broccoli-haired birthday celebrant's eyes widen in shock. His whole body starts to tense up and shiver again. You Uraraka C came up with this. WY. His face started to turn red at the thought of it. Sure, his birthday party is already phenomenal, maybe that most special out of all his birthdays. However, knowing that the idea came from none other than the love of his life made his heart clench. Why don't you ask her yourself? Mina squealed, raising her hand. She then snapped her fingers. It was the cue the effects department have been waiting for. Oh, a piece of advice. Please don't be dense. Tell her what you feel. How did you? Geez, I'm in a relationship with one of your friends, of course AG told me, she smirked. And you weren't really subtle about keeping it a secret. Suddenly music starts to play. Uraraka reacted, surprised at the sudden change of mood, but the brunette caught immediately. She scanned the room for Mina. When she found her, she began to blush. She saw her pink friend whispering to Deku, who coincidentally is looking at her. This all Mina's plan all along, isn't it, Sue? She asked. Well, we're all a part of it, Ribbit. She smiled at her blushing friend. We figured it's time for us to help. Blank, underscore, blank, underscore, blank. Go on, Midoriya. Ask her to dance, Mina squealed in excitement. She pulled him off his chair. She's been waiting for you for so long, she uttered. At first he's a little reluctant. Sure, he's been thinking of doing something this with her, but not in front of their friends. However, as he glanced towards her, it made him feel something that no one else made him feel before. He slowly walked towards the brunette, trying his best to keep his composure at the matter. Oh gosh, Deku's walking towards me, Ochako uttered in a panic. She tries to look away and avoid making eye contact with him, but to no avail. Well, Uraraka, you sure didn't feel this flustered when you were with the fake Deku at Naboo. Iida remarked. Maybe it's because she knows that the Midoriya in front of her is the real one. Fumi remarks, taking a sip from a glass of water. Not now, Iida, Sue retorted. Just when Deku was only half a meter away from Uraraka, the song Perfect starts to play, well, because of Mina's impeccable timing, of course. Just imagine the lyrics happening with the scene. If I didn't skip to another lyric, that means the different scenes happen simultaneously with one another. Better yet, listen to the song while you're reading this part. I found a love for me, Uraraka, said Deku, rubbing the back of his head. CC, can I have this dance with you? He smiled, offering his hand to her. At this, he hoped that she takes it. Sure, there's a high probability that it would make him fluster, but deep inside he wants this moment with her. Darling, just dive right in and follow my lead. Even though she's overwhelmed, she took the offer regardless. Sure, Deku, I would love to. She smiled nervously. Well, I found a girl. Holding his hand, she felt her heart start to beat faster as Deku walks her towards the dance floor. Beautiful and sweet, I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. Stopping at the center, Izuku wraps his hand loosely around Uraraka's lower back as she places her arms on his shoulders. Pair starts to slow dance, letting the song lead them as they swayed with the music. 'Cause we were just kids when we fell in love. This is art was posted by Twitter user at UtariArt. not knowing what it was. Should I tell him now? She thought. Both were completely silent for the most part. Who can blame them? Both cinnamon rolls fell head over heels for each other. Of course it would be awkward. I will not give you up this time. Should I tell her? He thought. But darling, just kiss me slow. He then looked at his dance partner, noticing that she was staring at him too. At that moment they felt a little flustered with one another, immediately looking away from each other. Dang it, your heart is all I own. Sorry Uraraka, I'm kind of not used to this, said Deku in a nervous tone. And in your eyes, you're holding mine. You're doing all right Deku, she smiled at him. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark. Well I hope, so I don't want to mess this up, he nervously smiled. With you between my arms. What? Why would you mess this up Deku? Barefoot on the grass. Well I can't focus, he uttered, chuckling anxiously. Listening to our favorite song. Huh, what do you mean you can't focus? She chuckled. When you said you looked a mess. Well as seeing you now. Deku you're mumbling again. Ochako giggled at the sight of him getting very mumbly. I whispered underneath my breath. No. It's time to tell her. Izuku thought. Come on, pull yourself together Deku, now's the time. Mustering up all the strength he has, figuratively. He finally said what he wants to say. You look beautiful, Uraraka. But you heard it. Darling, you look perfect tonight. Beautiful as always. Thank you for planning this party. He smiles, staring at her eyes. Ochako was shocked at his statement, but she can't say she didn't hope that something like this could happen. Though, she froze regardless. I said it. Deku's inner self yelled. What is wrong with you Izuku umighthavemedehumphortable? Well, I found a woman. Did Mina told you? Yes, stronger than anyone I know. Are you okay Uraraka? I'm fine Deku, just fine, she assured. She shares my dreams. I hope that someday I'll share her home. Sorry if I made it awkward. It's just why you've always been there for me after everything that happened. I found a love to carry more than just my secrets. You always support me, fought beside me, comfort me, and at times even protected me. To carry love, to carry children of our own. I can't help but realize that without you, I probably wouldn't be here to celebrate my birthday. We are still kids, but we're so in love. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I love you Uraraka. Fighting against all odds. I've always felt it since we first met. I know we'll be alright this time. Everything you did up until tonight made me feel overwhelmed. I felt like I should tell you now so that along the way I won't regret anything. Darling, just hold my hand. Hearing those words made her heart skip a beat. She never thought about him loving her back, let alone him confessing first. Be my girl, I'll be your man. Tears of joy started to fill her eyes as she stared at Deku. I see my future in your eyes. Uraraka, sorry I didn't mean to make you cry. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark, with you between my arms. Ochako only gave him a faint smile, staring at his eyes. She can't believe he said it first. Barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. Uraraka, please say something, he uttered, sweating nervously, thinking she didn't want to talk to him anymore. He let out a heavy sigh. When I saw you in that dress, looking so beautiful. Ura. Before he could even finish, the brunette suddenly pulled him closer to her. The next thing he knew, his lips made contact with hers. She couldn't resist anymore. She's been waiting for this moment ever since she fully realized her feelings for him, and the thought of his confession did not help. All she thought about is returning the affection back to him, even in the most unsubtle way possible. I don't deserve this, darling, you look perfect tonight. This masterpiece was made by Pixart user, Tasuki. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark, with you between my arms. It finally happened. Mina squealed loudly with her friends. Coda released the doves. She declared, jumping multiple times out of excitement. Barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. Coda nodded in acknowledgement, clearing his throat before using his quirk. All right, my avian friends, please fly in formation above Midoriya and Ochako. Look at that, a cocoon. I have faith in what I see. Her heart was beating so fast she almost couldn't breathe. Her cheeks started to heat up. The warmth of his lips was enough to send her in a trance. She didn't want this night to end. It was his night, but now it is theirs. Now I know I have met an angel in person. Unfortunately, their first kiss was short, but it didn't matter. Their friends were watching anyway. And she looks perfect. As they both pulled away, they both leaned in, touching each other's foreheads, smiling. I don't deserve this. I love you too. Izuku, you look perfect tonight. Blank, underscore, blank, underscore, blank. Author's note. There you have it. If you think it's cheesy, fine. I had manly tears writing this chapter, and I am 75-85% proud of it. I hope you like this one. Still have more to tell along the way, but no, it won't reach up to 60 plus chapters, I hope. The song here is called Perfect, written by Ed Sheeran. And for those who are here waiting for the update on the Out of Time book, I'll be updating that one tomorrow. Thanks for taking the time to read this one. You guys are awesome.